Welcome back. They call it Oppo research. Campaigns spend a boatload of money digging up dirt on the other candidate to get a leg up. It has been ugly, but it works. At least it has worked for decades. But is it effective anymore? Herschel Walker's abortion scandal would have sunk a pro-life candidate in minutes in past elections. But this is 2022, and the number of political scandals that we have all endured in the last 5 years could sink a battleship. But can they still sink a candidate? Joe Trippi is a Democratic strategist and the former senior advisor to John Edwards, his campaign for president. He's also worked for Gary Hart, Walter Mondale, Ted Kennedy, Howard Dean, and he's the host of the podcast That Trippi Show. And Tara Wall is a political commentator and an award-winning journalist. Welcome to both of you. Joe, I'm going to start with you. Early voting in Georgia starts like next week. So do you think the voters are going to vote based on what they saw tonight? Or do you think the voters are going to vote based on all of these, scandalous discussions or just, their conscience? How does that actually work?
I don't think very many are going to vote on what they saw tonight. I think debates at this stage tend to attract a lot of people that are cheering for one side or the other. It actually gets to why you can survive a scandal like Herschel Walker has, too. It's the tribalism that's taken over in the last 6 years, and I think increased, makes people able to somehow look past this stuff, and actually, and it's, if it's someone in my tribe who did it, then I'll look the other way because the other tribe's worse. It's really tribalism that's taking over, and I think again, people watch tonight, most of them. I don't think very many undecided voters are, watch this. Part of the reason people are undecided is that they're maybe just now starting to pay attention to this stuff. And I doubt many of them tuned in tonight.
It's a good point. I can't believe it, though, given all of the stories between, Warnock and Walker, that they wouldn't be popping the popcorn, this morning, getting ready. But Tara, it's so odd to think that they're just going to hold their nose and vote for their guy regardless because they think that the guy next door, eats babies, or all these awful stories that people talk about with politics. But honestly, are we really, is that really where we are now? Are we honestly going to be at the point where nothing is disqualifying, just nothing at all? Our guy is our guy. It's a parliamentary thing.
Well, twofold. Number one, I think, in the words of Trump, he'd have to commit murder. Remember that infamous comment, he'd have to commit murder. That'd be the only thing that would make him unelectable. I think it depends on the scandal. I mean, you have, is it an Anthony Weiner style scandal, or is it a, deny scandal that can't be proven scandal? So I think that's one of the biggest differences. I think at this point, at this late stage in the game, that the party is willing to take its risk. I heard someone say earlier that Herschel Walker has really nothing to lose at this point, and he doesn't. And in fact, I think Democrats should be surprised at the fact that the incumbent, Raphael Warnock, is really, fighting for his political life at this point. I think that is very telling of the fact that people are willing to accept at this point this very flawed candidate in Herschel Walker. Like, all candidates are flawed, right, to some degree. Every person, every human is flawed to some degree, right? And I think that, yes, some people are willing to just hold their breath because he's still within striking distance, okay?
So,
I think if he were not within striking distance, they would have given up on him a long time ago.
Maybe that's what it is. Because it's so close and because it's so critical, maybe that's what this is. But I do want to show you guys something that I think you already saw, but I want to point it out because it's one thing for the voters to hold their nose. It's another thing for other members of the Republican Party to go all in on a candidate like that. And to that point, I want to show you a moment from yesterday. It was actually the day before, where Herschel Walker was on a stage giving a speech, and he had two big Republicans behind him. He had Senator Tom Cotton and Senator Rick Scott, both very popular Republicans in the party. And he decided, for some I don't know why reason, to launch into this anecdote. Take a look.
But as they've been saying, something is better somewhere else. And I'm here to tell you it's not. So I've been telling this little story about this bull out in the field with 6 cows. and 3 of them are pregnant. So you know he got something going on. But all he cared about is kept his nose against the fence, looking at 3 other cows that didn't belong to him. Now all he had to do is eat grass, but no, he thought something was better somewhere else. So he decided, I want to get over there. So one day he measured that fence up, and he said, I think I can jump this. So that day came where he got back. And he got back, and as he took off running, he dove over that fence, and his belly got cut up onto the bottom. But as he made it over on the other side, he shook it off and got so excited about it. And he ran to the top of that hill, but when he got up there, he realized they were bulls too. So what I'm telling you...
Okay.
Don't think
so Joe Trippi, the reason I wanted to play that is because if we just watch what was going on behind him, up until that moment, Cotton and Scott were laughing along with him, and then they just wanted it to end. If we can roll that VO, that voiceover, and so that the viewers can watch what's going on in the background. Everything was fine up until this moment. How many of the other Republicans or Democrats are going to be willing to stand by somebody who now is just a must as opposed to baggage?
Well, this is part of the problem here. I'm not saying that scandals don't have an impact. Of course they do. That's why look, by all rights, the Georgia seat is one that a Kemp versus Warnock would and take race out of it. I just mean that what I would have called a normal Republican, not a celebrity gaffe machine and with a really crazy past, would be winning this seat, probably, to be honest with you. That's what the Republican Party believed. The fact that they're having to stand there and back him up and hold him up is because of these scandals, because of the accusations by the woman that he paid for an abortion. And so they'll do anything to hold him up. They have to, because that's the majority. I think this does taint the entire party. I'm
running that clip, right? I'm running the clip on TV right now showing their faces because they dropped. Their faces dropped. And I have to, unfortunately, wrap it there because we had so much coverage tonight. And we got that interview with Herschel Walker, which took up a lot of time, too. But both of you, I really appreciate it. Tarwell and Joe Trippi, I hope you'll come back. Lots still to talk about in this story.
Of course.
And thanks to both of you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.